What in the world? YouTube update. YouTube update. All right. Hi, ladies. This is an impromptu live stream, and I am doing this live stream because I am highly upset to say the absolute least. And, I figured I try to I always try to take negative experiences and turn them into positives to any possible way, any possible extent that I can. So um I was literally not planning on going live. I was gonna, as y'all can see, I am in braids. If you follow me on Instagram, then this is something that you probably already knew. And I was not gonna share this with y'all until I was gonna make a video, and I still will. But now y'all know I braided my hair this weekend. You can see it, right? But let me share this video really quickly so people can know, and then I'll go ahead and get into the topic. Of course, I'll leave the replay up. But I just wanted to share something with y'all really quickly. So let me share this on Instagram. Why? Why? Seriously. Trying to put this link up. If you're in here, you can say hello in the chat. You can like the video, please and thank you. Why is it not? Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to talk to you all about today, and excuse the, and I know y'all be like, what are you talking about? There's nothing about, if the wall looks a mess, excuse me. I'm filming in an odd location. So what I'm going to talk to y'all about something incredibly important. And what I'm talking to y'all about today, as you can see in the title, is the importance of self-advocacy in salons. Now, the reality is, this information, what we're going to discuss today, this applies, period. This applies to those of you all who are going to hospitals, especially you women, you African American women with high death at birth rates, in different scenarios where you're going to people who are professionals and you are relying on them to render a service or something, and that is directly related to especially your health, and you have people who gaslight you, or just, what I'm saying, you get put in these situations where if you don't speak up for yourself, you're going to be stuck looking like a fool, right? If there is anything I have learned this year, y'all, it is the importance of advocating for myself and speaking up for myself, regardless of the freaking circumstance. And I'm gonna always look at things on a more deep level. I think I could speculate, and I'm just gonna take a guess and say the reason a lot of us may have um a harder time in situations like this speaking up for ourselves is maybe you were raised in a household where your voice didn't matter. Let's be real, especially in the African American community, where many people have this retarded, if you don't like that word, sorry, they have this retarded mindset of like, a child is to be seen and not heard. Do as I say, not as I do. These stupid, outdated concepts with the way that they raise their children, where your children don't have agency. Your children don't have the ability to speak up for themselves. Your children don't have privacy, which a child is not you. A child is a separate entity from you. So a child should have just as much say. I mean, do I feel like no, I don't think a kid should come up and say, well, this is what we doing today. But a kid should have the right to contribute their thought, and you can decide what you're going to do from there. But it should not be no dictatorship, because what you do is you raise your kids to where when they go out in the real world, they can't advocate and speak up for themselves in situations where there's an authoritative figure, because they've been subconsciously programmed to bypass their own will, to bypass, their needs, their wants, their wishes and fulfillments in order to please this authoritarian figure. This is my conspiracy, right? So from my experience and my opinion, if you find yourself in situations like this where you can't speak up for yourself, or you're hesitant, or you're so busy trying to appease another person that you put your needs and your wants on the back burner, you got to start with your childhood. You got to start with your thought processes on respect your elders and different things like that. I'm not saying we shouldn't respect authority and we shouldn't respect the elders and all that, but at the end of the day, I don't care how old the person is. I don't care if it's your parent, your pastor, whoever. Everybody at the end of the day is a human being, and nobody knows everything, and you have to follow your intuition and your gut. So for me, when I had that situation in February with that relaxer setback, y'all, that was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn in my life, because it was like literally a struggle between what I know is right and me again trying to respect this old lady doing my hair. Well, she's the professional, even though I'm a professional as well. I just don't necessarily specialize in this service. I knew that what that lady was doing was wrong, but I'm so busy trying to people please and appease this lady that in literally 1 hour, in 1 hour, I went from where my hair was back then to where my hair is today. Now, the reason I had these box braids on is because the other day, y'all, I can't even lie to y'all. It took a lot of restraint. It took a lot of discipline for me to not cut all of my hair off the other day. I'm on here all the time. I tell y'all, there are other ways. You don't have to just big chop your hair. You don't have to do all these, you don't have to take these extreme measures. You can nurse your hair back to health. And it's true. Y'all been watching my journey for the last several months. But I would be lying if I said sometimes I look at my hair in the mirror, and I mean, this is the most emotional I've been about my hair since this happened. Honestly, I'm just irritated with how I'm going to get into the story, but I would be lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all that some days it is difficult. There's certain, I haven't been in a position where I felt like I needed to over accessorize my hair or wear extensions or anything like that in so long. So to be in this situation where, I still have a decent length of hair and stuff. So yes, I still kind of can get away with just ponytails and buns, when I have off days and different things like that. But overall, y'all, my hair is just not it. And the other day, my last wash day, if you're coming in here, can y'all say hello in the chat? Like, it's super weird when I stream and nobody says anything. It's very unusual, and it's not. These last two streams, y'all been doing it. I don't know why. But like I can't, my last wash day, when I told myself I did the braids the next day, my hair was literally just like snapping. It was just snapping, when I'm combing it, and it was just a mess. Like it's just, I can't even describe to y'all. It was just a mess. Okay. My hair was a mess. So I said that to say, going through that situation in February with that relaxer setback where, I allowed the lady to overprocess my hair, and I have to take accountability, because at the end of the day, y'all, we have agency. We have a right to speak up for ourselves, and we have a right to make our own decisions regardless of what's going on. So I allowed her to do that to my hair when I told her not to do it, and she continued to impose her will. I should have got up out of her chair and walked out like I just did this nail salon today. But I sat there and to try and not hurt her feelings, I sat there and let her destroy my hair. And I'm the one who is dealing with the consequence for that till this day. Not only that, but I paid to have somebody chemically destroy my hair. And here I am 9 months later, still dealing with the consequences of that because I chose not to speak up for myself in that moment. So let me talk about this from a I'm going to talk about this to y'all as consumers from a professional standpoint. But first, let me get into the reason I'm making this video. I've been doing a lot of self-care this week, shopping, etc. I did my braids, whatever. I decided for the first time in several months that I was going to go to get my nails done. Now, me and nail salons, I've never like cut up in a nail salon or anything like that. But I do have my reservations when it comes to nail salons because obviously, as many of y'all know, for the most part, most nail salons you're going to come across are the Vietnamese ran chop shops. And I personally don't like going to them. But at the same time, you'll be hard pressed to find a non-Vietnamese nail tech. And this is not to be discriminatory. I'm not going to sit here. I don't want to make such a broad generalization and say every Vietnamese nail salon is a chop shop. But let's be real here. I've never come across one that wasn't. I don't care how high end it was. I don't care if it was from LA, Vegas, Houston to Atlanta. Or to Chicago. Any city I have gotten my nails done, it's the same experience in these Vietnamese nail salons. And they have monopolized the industry so much to the point where it's like I think as consumers, we get to this point where we like, well, we accept scraps because we feel like we can't do it ourselves. And the thing about it, it's the same thing like with black hair salons. When you as a consumer, you are voting with your dollar, right? So the more you continue to patronize places like this, the more you actually reduce the options that you have because you are keeping people in business. It's the same thing with social media influencers who are scamming y'all with different products or whatever. It's the same thing. The more you continue to patronize a business, the more you continue to patronize an industry, you are saying that you are okay with that type of treatment. You have to value your currency. Thank you so much, Sunny. You have to place a value on your currency. You have to place a higher value on where you place your attention, where you put your money, etc. Because you reduce your options when I say you, the collective we as women who patronize beauty businesses keep patronizing them, right? So I have through the grapevine, I've heard many people every now and then I might come across somebody who has really nice nails and I'll ask them where they go. And the alternative is Mexican. A lot of, at least where I live, in pretty much anywhere I've been, I do find that there are a lot of good Mexican nail techs, but I find that they don't do the type of nails I get. Like if you like a lot of designs and shaping and stuff, there are a lot of good Mexican nail techs if you can find them, because there's not, when I say a lot, I don't mean there's an abundance of them. I'm just saying I have, from what I've seen, found that if you could find a good Mexican nail tech, you'll be good to go. I have only had one super bomb nail tech in my life, and her name is Barbara. She no longer does nails anymore. And she's actually Korean and black. But that is the only nail tech I've ever had to do the right thing. Okay. So if you find a good nail tech, please hold on to them. Don't be trying to nickel and dime them. And like, come on, y'all. When you find service providers who are doing their job, y'all, you got to, like, people take advantage of stuff. People get too used to a good thing, right? So anyway, look at my nails, y'all. Look at my freaking nails. I want y'all to absorb this cut. I want y'all to absorb this thing. I don't even know if y'all can see. I'm going to hold this straight. Do you see how crooked this nail is? I want you to absorb this raggedy shape on these thumbs. I can't even freaking show y'all. How do you even do that? It's not even possible. I don't even know how to show y'all my thumbs. Oh, I'm doing too much. Like, these look a mess. And no, they're not painted because I walked out. Let me tell y'all, number one, I arrived to my appointment 5 minutes early. When I came in, I asked the guy at the reception desk, I asked, was the lady there? He said no. So I told him I'm gonna just go run and get something to eat, right? I ran and get something to eat for like literally next door for like a total of 5 minutes. When I came back, she still wasn't there. So I was like, okay, I'll just eat my French fries, right? So I eat my French fries. It's like 4:10. The lady finally walks in. So maybe like 12 to 13 minutes late. Last time I had checked the clock, it was like 4:10. So she arrived, like I said, like 12, 13 minutes late. And she came in, she did not apologize. The front desk person did not apologize. It was like, oh, I went to go to get a drink, and the line was too long, and da 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 da. And I'm like, I'm not tripping, because as a service provider, I understand, when you can get you something to drink, when you can get you something to eat, you do that. And sometimes you are pressed for time, you get caught up, and things happen. I'm not even tripping about it. I got me something to eat, right? So I sit down, I tell her exactly what I want. I told her I wanted almond nails. Maybe the right term was oval, but at the end of the day, I showed you several pictures where they all got the same exact shape. So I don't care if the name was wrong, whatever. Every picture I showed you has the same exact nail shape. So regardless if the terminology wrong, girl, it's the same shape. So, we was just talking or whatever. They ask you all these questions, boyfriend, this, da da da. And the next thing that irritated me was she automatically, I just got a regular acrylic set. When I was getting my nails done last year, I did always get the pink powder. And this was at a different salon, which I left for same unprofessionalism. I don't even want to get into it. But she automatically started putting the pink powder on there. And I asked her, I was like, what? And this is a tip, right? This is a tip. You have to be active in these situations, y'all. I tell y'all all the time, I feel like the client stylist or the client nail tech, client waxer, wherever you go, the relationship should be a collaboration, not a dictatorship. Yes, you need to allow somebody to do their job, but at the end of the day, y'all, it's okay to be involved in your process in a polite way, right? You have to have the confidence to speak up for yourself. So I just asked her politely what powder that was. And she told me it was the pink powder. So I was like, okay, well, what is the price difference? Because the acrylic set starts at 28. And I wanted to know, well, what is this? Because first of all, I did not book it, and you already are upgrading my set, and I didn't ask that. To me, that's like scandalous and swindly behavior. But I usually do get that powder. So what is the price difference? She told me it'll be 64. And I'm like, why would it be 64? I'm thinking to myself, and I wasn't mad or anything, but this is critical thought, y'all. I teach y'all all the time to be critical thinkers. Don't just take things for what people tell you they are, right? So I'm like thinking to myself, like, $64. I asked her, well, because I know I got the shaping. So I asked her, well, how much is the shaping? Oh, the shaping is $6. Okay, so how much is the set? She told me the set was like $40. So how did it go from 40 plus the shaping to $64? Like, unless you just don't, you missaid the wrong number or something. And I asked her the numbers, and then she like changed it up and was like, okay, so it'll be 40, it's gonna be $43, but I take $1 off for you, it'll be 42. So first and foremost, I already told y'all she was late. Then she started trying to swindle me with the pricing, right? And trying to give me this bogus pricing and give me a service I didn't ask for, which was shady. But I made sure to clarify that, because I don't want to get to the end of my service and then my nails are like $80. This is the type of stuff that you have to look out for when you're getting your nails and hair and things done like that, right? You can't always assume, you shouldn't assume that people have your best interest at hand or what they're telling you is right. Like, it's okay to ask questions. So I told her, I was like, you know what, that's fine. I'll get the pink powder because that's what I usually get. We discussed the shaping again. When she was asking me about the pink powder, I told her, I showed her pictures of how I was getting my pink nails done, and she made a comment on how bad the shaping was, and I told her that I agree, and I told her that I like my nails to be narrow, because in the pictures I showed her, I have very petite nail beds. But a lot of people tend to put way too big nails on my nail beds, and they'll end up looking way wider than they're supposed to, right? So, she made a comment about that, and I told her, like, yeah, I do like my nails to be narrow, right? So I wasn't talking about the tips of my nails. I was talking about the nail itself, and I referenced her. I referenced the picture again of the inspiration photo so she could see what I wanted. She's like, yeah, I got you, whatever. So the third thing that irritated me was, no, let me say this. One thing that irritated me before I get to what irritated me was the lady had a wart on her finger. And to me, it's just like, especially when you're doing a job like nails, we're human beings, we're human beings, you're going to have warts and different things like that. But like, if you're a service provider or a client, like if you're sick or you have, allergy, put a mask on. If you have a wart, put a Band-Aid on. Like, come on, like, be considerate of other people when you're doing stuff like this. That just blows me. And I was going to say something about it. The only reason I didn't is because of the hand that she had, the wart, the finger, whatever on. It wasn't directly interacting with my finger, even though the emery board, the nail file was. And even though it might sound nitpicky, y'all, this is stuff that matters. Do you want to end up with a wart on your finger? Like, come on, y'all. So that was something that I was kind of irritated by, because I'm like, girl, I've had a wart on my finger before when I was braiding hair and stuff, and I would bandage it. Like, come on, like, get rid of it. Like, this is your job. That's just crazy to me. So the next thing besides that irritated me was she cut me. Come on. I feel like if y'all go to these chop shop nail salons, it's not abnormal to experience you getting cut by one of these drills, But come on now. This was like, out of all the cuts I've ever had, this is the worst I've experienced. This is the worst I've experienced. So I'm like, I'm just blown away because she never apologized. It was like, at first I wasn't gonna say nothing about it, because it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of customary for them to cut you a little bit. But when I seen that it was literally like continuing, I told her immediately when she did. I asked her, "Can you spray some alcohol on that, please?" Because, girl, I'm not trying to get no bacterial infections or whatever. So she sprays the alcohol on there, and I was going to keep it going. But then it was like literally dripping. Like, it wasn't just a kind of superficial kind of cut. It was like she really cut my finger. So I asked her, like, please excuse me, I'm going to go wash my hands. This is what self-advocacy looks like. Self-advocacy looks like you're not sitting in a salon chair or a nail tech's chair and you just allowing them to guide the process. That's what self-advocacy looks like. Can you please spray alcohol in there? I need to wash my hands. Like, it's not a matter of, no, can you put alcohol in there? You got to change your demeanor, because the way she started to kind of like respond was with the gaslighting tactics. Now, the reason I say gaslighting is because I notice when it comes to service providers, you have people who will respond to their mistake in kind of two different ways. You have a person who will take accountability and do what they can to make up for the mistake. For example, her cutting me. If it was me, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, I sincerely apologize. These things do happen, I sincerely apologize. I'm going to take this off your service, because it is that serious. Like, you literally just, like, come on now. Even if it's not a thing of maybe it's not an injury, it still takes away from the experience in the salon when these things happen. So when it comes to customer service, I sincerely apologize. Did you want an eyebrow wax? You know what I'm saying? Just show that you care. Oh, thank you so much, African Hair God. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So just show that you care, that you making a mistake. Then you have other service providers who, when I say gaslighting, what they'll do when they make a mistake is they start blaming you. Oh, you moved your hand. Oh, that is so unprofessional in my opinion, right? So when I say you have to be ready to advocate for yourself is when you, ow, my finger hurts, and they come with, oh, it's because you was moving, or oh, you got to be ready to say, no, this is what happened. Because after she did that, it was still bleeding or whatever. I washed my hands, it was still bleeding. So I asked her to spray more alcohol on there, and she kind of, oh, it's okay, trying to play it off and stuff. And I feel like sometimes people will do that because they know 9 times out of 10 what's going to come after that. If you got some sense, you going to want a discount or something, like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they try to like downplay it so that you don't, it's them trying to regain control of the situation so you as a consumer don't, become outraged. That's how I look at it. It's psychological. So I was like, with that, at that point, that was this third strike. Not only was the lady late, not only was she, I told y'all she tried to like give me a more expensive service than what I initially booked. Not only do she got this wart on her hand and she's touching my hand, but now you didn't cut me and now you over here acting. So at this point, I was still like trying to remain optimistic, but at this point I was like, you doing too much. So when it came time for her to shape my nails, this is one thing I didn't learn from getting my nails done all these years is you got to be upfront about that while you're in the midst of that process. Like I said, you have to allow people to do their job. But if you see something going wrong, say something. Because when she started doing my shape, again, y'all, this is the shape that I showed her. This is the shape that I showed her. So when she started shaping my nails, I noticed that she started to cut them in a more triangular shape, like they were like kind of like stiletto nails. So when I saw how pointy this thumb was, and it was actually, the nails were way pointier than this, and I'm gonna tell y'all why they look like this now. I asked her, I'm like, hey, when you're shaping this, can you? She said, oh, it's okay. Let me do my job. I got you. Just trust me. Girl, this is the same thing the Dominican lady did when she relaxed my hair. So I said, okay, it's cool. I went ahead and I let her, because I already knew at this point I was prepared to walk up out of there. Like at this point, my mindset today is so different. So I'm like, go ahead, girl, because if you sit here and do this entire hand wrong after I'm trying to tell you, you're going to redo it again. So I'm like, that's fine. If you want to waste time, that's fine. Because if I don't like it, I'm going to still say something. That's what ended up happening, y'all. She did my whole hand and I was trying to like it. And she, oh, you like, I said, no, I don't. And she, okay, it's fine. I put more powder. So what I guess she ended up doing was putting more powder on my nails so that they were more round again. And she started shaping them. So when she goes back and shapes my nails this time, this is when she cut my pinky finger. I don't know if you can see it. This one wasn't as bad as the other finger, but it's right here. This one, she cuts my pinky finger. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, at this point, 2 steps ahead, 2 steps in the reverse. When I was telling you I was irritated at this particular step, I'm fed up. At this point, all the little small talk and stuff, I'm like, we could small talk or whatever, but girl, I'm just in here like at this point, she didn't cross that line. Like at this point, I'm irritated, right? So the next and final step that pissed me off to where I got up out her chair was when she got finished shaping my nails, y'all. Like, I'm trying to show y'all like these thumbs. Why is this so hard? Like, why is this so hard to do? Can y'all see that? Do y'all see that? First of all, this thumb is way shorter than this one. Not only that, not only is it crooked, it don't look nothing like this thumb. Like they're nothing alike. They're nothing alike. So when she finishes my nails, the shaping, she had asked me like, okay, did you? Because I told her I couldn't figure out if I wanted to do red nails or if I was gonna do nude. She said, well, are you gonna do the red or are you gonna do the nude? And look how sloppy this is. This was when I walked up at her chair, y'all. It was time to paint my nails. Like I had already washed my hands and everything. This is how like sloppy this is. Do you see my cuticles? Do you see like all of that product just everywhere? So, and this side too. I've been washed my hands 3 times. I don't know what this stuff is. So, y'all, when she showed me like the shape of my nails, I said when I seen this thumbnail, y'all, I don't know what came over me. This was like, and I never, when celebrities be saying they have alter egos and stuff, y'all, I'll be thinking like, I'll be like, okay, they're demonic. Girl, I didn't developed a alter ego. And the alter ego is, this is big grown Sydney advocating for little bitty Sydney. You got your inner child and you have your grown self, right? And your inner child, you got to know when to boss up and don't let your inner child speak for you, right? At that point, my grown self popped off. And I couldn't, I was impressed when I told her when she did the cone looking shape, and she was like, "Do you like it?" And I said no. I was impressed with myself then, because had this been me 9 months ago, girl, I would have said, "It's okay. You're not a peasant." And this is what I have, and this is how much my inner narrative has changed for myself. And I feel like this is how you have to think. You're not a peasant. You don't have to accept scraps. You create the reality that you see in your life based on what you accept and what you don't accept, right? I'm not a peasant. I'm not a why do I have to say yes to something at the end of the day I'm going to have to pay for? I told her, I don't like these. And I'm just, in retrospect, it's funny because as I'm telling y'all the story, I'm way more like, I feel victorious. Like I feel empowered. I feel strong, y'all, because I'm telling you, after my hair, that relaxer setback, that was one of the craziest experiences. Like, to go from that situation to where I am today, like I am so proud of myself. Just telling y'all this story, like even though I came on here upset, I'm so proud of myself, right? I was so when she finished my nails and I seen these thumbs, I said no, no. I said I don't like these. I started picking up my stuff. I said no, I'm not doing this. I was picking up my stuff. I grabbed everything and I got up and I went to that front desk and I told him. And especially for those of us who are African American, I know people expect us to be a certain kind of way. People may expect us to be looking for problems. And I do think that is a real thing. I think you have a demographic of Black people who be wanting to cause problems. I do. So, I'm mindful that I'm not a very like confrontational person naturally. So I was upset though. Like how I came on here with that shaky energy, I had shaky energy. My shaky energy is a little bit different. Some people's shaky energy is going to be, my shaky energy is more, it's more Black gal tears energy. So I told him, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not happy with this. I don't like this. I said she's a nice lady, but I told him this experience has not been enjoyable at all. I told him, from the time I came in here, from her being late, I wasn't upset about it, but nobody ever apologized about it. Then I told him all the things that pissed me off. I read them to you. I read them to him. And he said, you know what? I understand. He's an American guy. I've seen him before because I'll be seeing him. So I know him from somewhere else. But he's Asian. He's probably like Cambodian or something, though, and he's Americanized. So he's younger. He was like, he wasn't like trying to like, oh, well, you have to pay. It wasn't that kind of dynamic. He was just like, I understand, and you don't worry about it. But I left that shop with my nails looking like this. And the moral of the story here, y'all, is You do not have to accept, especially, and I'm not talking for problem Patrice, who wants to go and try to get free stuff, because you have a demographic of consumers like that. And that is this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of y'all who go to places, you genuinely just want to treat yourself. You genuinely just want to enjoy something. You are spending your hard-earned coins, whether you got a lot of money or you don't, you know, regardless of what the situation is, y'all, you have a right to not accept mediocre services, period. And that business, I used to go to that salon a long time ago when I was a lot younger, when I was in high school. It was at the time when they opened, when I was in high school, they were like the bougie salon in the area. But their salon has gone down. It's gone down. At that time, no, I was only going to one guy, and I don't know, he's not there anymore. But I said that to say, like, you have a right to speak up. You don't have to accept mediocre treatment from anybody, not even from yourself. You don't have to accept that, y'all. If you don't like something, it's okay to speak up and say, hey, I don't like this. You don't have to be rude about it, but you need to be matter of fact. I didn't go up there saying, hey, I don't like these. What are y'all going to do about it? I told him, I'm not paying for these, period. Even if it got to a situation where they had to call the police, whatever, I wasn't finna be one of them, like a Karen, like, but I just told him straight up, I am not paying for these nails. And that's why I stopped her right then and there, because I already knew I wasn't finna pay. So you don't even have to finish these nails, because I'm not paying for this. I don't like these, even under my nails, like, it's just disgusting, y'all. When you've experienced like a quality nail tech or a quality service provider, you know when something is not right. You know what I'm saying? And Barbara, my old nail tech, B, the dip queen, she was the freaking bomb. I miss Barbara. That's how my clients in Vegas be feeling now. Everybody takes things for granted until they gone. I miss Barbara. I never had a pedicure. I have pretty feet, but the way that girl used to shape my toes, that girl, I miss Barbara. She put pride in her work. She worked with excellence. And it's such a shame to see so many people not be excellent. You don't have to be perfect, but have some pride in your work. Why are you okay letting your clients leave the salon looking like this? I'm going to show y'all. When my cousin got her hair done, and then I'm going to show y'all with one of my clients, when I took her weave down, I'm just like, what would possess you to, not only is it wrong to, like, not only do I feel like it's problematic to your client to give them a mediocre service, but why do you feel comfortable allowing something with your name on it to go out into the world like this? Like, that's just really crazy to me. My mom used to tell me that all the time when I was young, and I didn't understand like the tough love scenario. I thought she was just being mean. And now I understand. My mom is old school. She used to always tell me, like, if I would have my pockets tucked out or something, have some pride, have some dignity, like, have some pride in your work. Have some pride in your work. Like, why are you I'm trying to show y'all something. Why are you so comfortable? Okay, I don't, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. Why are you so comfortable? Hi, Sapphire Relax here. Why are you so comfortable sending your work into the world looking like, why? You don't care about your stuff. You don't feel like the things associated with your name should be excellent. Like, that's really crazy to me. That's what's under your sewing. Like, that's how you sending your clients out into the world. Like, with your name on it, like, that's just crazy to me. So all in all, y'all, first of all, again, I appreciate African Hair Guy for coming through and giving me, that was literally my first super chat on this channel. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. But it's like, and shout out to African Hair Guy for, being a stylist that cares. But it's just like, y'all, you got to speak up for yourself. You got to speak up for yourself. It amazes me, even at restaurants, like how some people, you do have Karens out there, and I am a food Karen. I will be 100% with y'all. I don't send food back for like anymore, like, because I don't trust it. But I will say, like, this was not good. You can take it. I'm good. Like, if it's that bad, I just won't eat. But y'all have some. You got to be confident. You got to reprogram your mind. You have to know that your word matters. You have to know that it's okay to say no. Even if that means you have to leave with your nails looking raggedy and now you got to find somebody else to do it or learn it yourself, whatever the case is, it's okay to say no. You have to have an abundance mindset. And you have to train yourself with this every day of your life. When I went shopping yesterday, y'all, I spent a lot of money at one of them Korean boutiques. And the lady was so rude. Like, I already had made up my mind to say, when I come out this dressing room, if she's still at that counter, I'm gonna let her know, because it was the owner. It was the owners were, it was a Korean boutique, but the girls working there, it's the same dynamic. Not trying to be rude, I'm being honest. The girls working there though was some young Hispanic girls. But I already had said to myself, if the lady, the owner's still working at the register, I'm gonna tell her, like, I really like these pieces and I would love to get them. But if you're gonna continue to talk to me this way, then I will take my business elsewhere. I was prepared to tell her. She's lucky that she was not there. But even things like this, like, some of the pieces, I really, really like these outfits, and I did not get them because they were too big or too small, whatever. And in the past, what I would have done is I would have just took it and made it work. Even though the outfit don't fit, even though whatever, I would have accepted it because scarcity mindset. I told myself, like, girl, no, don't get it. Some of the stuff I got, I really liked it. There was this dress, y'all. This dress was so cute, but it had a hole right here. I was willing to buy the dress and figure out how to get that hole together. It was like on the neckline. It was this really cute neckline. It was like square, but it was really cute. I was prepared to take the dress home and figure it out. Obviously, if they gonna compensate me for buying this dress. And I wasn't accepting no 10% off on this big hole. Like, I need like 30-40%, especially considering me buying all the stuff. They told me no, well, you can take it back then. Another thing I really liked, it had this black stuff on there, and I tried to get it off. They didn't want it. Nope, I don't want it. Another, example is, because I had noticed, I've worked in retail before. So I'm familiar with retail, and I'm familiar with sensors and things like this. And I know that when you don't put sensors on properly, or you put sensors on materials that you shouldn't put sensors on, it'll leave a hole. And places like that, they don't do returns. When I saw them holes, and when I saw the hole in the outfit I liked, I asked her, like, as you're removing the sensors off these things, hand me the piece, please, so I can make sure there's no hole. Because you're not gonna take the sensors off this and then put it in the bag, and I get home and now I realize it's a hole here, and it get bigger and bigger, and I can't return it. Like, no. These are examples, in my opinion, of advocating for yourself as a consumer, being willing to ask questions, being willing to make demands, being confident enough to be involved in the process. This is, in my opinion, what self-advocacy looks like as a consumer. And you have to have an abundance mindset. You have to believe and know that if you leave this business, if you leave this nail tech, if you leave whatever, and you go on, there's other nail techs. Yes, it's not easy to find a good nail tech. It's not always easy to find a good hairstylist, but trust and believe there are several out here. You just have to align yourself and be willing to take some responsibility into your own hands until you can find the right person. You don't keep patronizing and accepting mediocre behavior in the process. Because in my opinion, if y'all want to talk about attraction and things like that, the more, and we can say the same thing about relationships, we can say the same thing about friendships, the more you accept mediocre treatment, the more you accept mediocrity, you are deliberately saying, I'm okay with this, and you are pushing away what it is that you want. That doesn't make sense. My eyebrows for the last 7 months have been looking a mess, and you know why? Our eyebrow lady, we've been going to this lady for like 15 years. She's nasty. And she's one of them Vietnamese nail shops. I'm just being completely real. And she's nasty. And she's always been nasty. And I always used to think it, but I didn't think like I do now. So even though I'm witnessing this lady re-dip this stick into this wax and put it on this everybody's face and keep contaminating this wax, I'm like, well, she the best one that I know how to shape brows, so it is what it is. No, because the second you end up with a ringworm on your face, I have seen people. One of my friends, her grandma, well, she feel like her grandma got the ringworm from getting waxed because it was on her eyebrow. These things do happen. You know, I've seen somebody's feet be destroyed from fungus getting their toes done at these. So this is what advocacy looks like. When you see people cross-contaminating and nasty stuff, do you believe that you deserve the lowest level? Like, no. I'd rather abstain from getting the service done than get it done at a low level. Even if that means you have to pay more, even if that means you got to drive to the other side of town, whatever it is, like, you have to give yourself the best treatment. The whole reason we get beauty services is to make ourselves feel better and to treat ourselves. So why would we go to these places and accept bad treatment? That's stupid. So you got to reframe your mind. I don't go to her no more. The last time we went in there, and my mom, I had told my mom before, but the last time we went in there, when we came in, she was waxing this lady's armpits with the same wax in the same stick, in the same. And for some reason, when my mom visually seen it, she was grossed out. Everybody was grossed out because, of course, now she's different. She the type, she go, oh, hell no. Nah. Oh, my God. So, you know, now the other lady like, oh, that's nasty, you know. So we ain't been back. And as unfortunate as it is, it is what it is. You know, I'm growing out my eyebrows right now. I was trying to do them myself. I don't feel like I can, or I don't feel like at this point I'm ready to find somebody else. I'm growing them out, and I'm going to continue to wait until I find the right eyebrow lady for me. And in the end, I mean, in the meantime, it's just going to be me and this concealer rocking it out. It is what it is. But it's like, I'm damn sure not going to keep dealing with her and subconsciously programming myself to accept armpit hair eyebrow wax. Like, come on now. I'm not finna keep going to somebody who is inconsistent every time. If your stylist has an off day, it's not a big deal. I don't want to say it's not a big deal. If your stylist got an off day, if your nail tech have an off day, we are humans. We are not robots. But when you are consistently patronizing somebody and it's a different result every time, why do you keep accepting that? You know, so we got to heighten the way that we think about ourselves. We have to heighten the expectation that we have for how other people treat us. And this does not simply only pertain to, you know, just dating and relationships. Because in reality, in my experience, just from since I've been on this journey, the way you really get to the point where you could, you know, if your friend acting funny, she making little funny comments, you, girl, goodbye. You know, or a dude, he treating you bad, or a family member. In my opinion, the only way you could really bypass the emotional, you know, being able to prioritize your expectations above the emotional connections and bonds that you build, it's by these ways that you treat yourself on a daily basis in even the smallest things that you do. When you are actively giving yourself the best, even on a small level, to your nail tech, to etc., that's when you get to a place where you really do prioritize yourself all of the time, regardless. And it's not a matter of you trying to put on the act and you're gonna love me, you're gonna respect me. No, I don't treat myself that way. You're damn sure not about to treat me like that. That goes for everybody. Like, I feel like these are the things you should teach your children. These are the things children have to be taught. how to speak up for themselves, how to advocate for themselves, that their opinion matters. Not to say their opinion is going to be, or how they feel matters. Not to say just because you feel a certain way, everybody's always going to listen to you, or you're always going to get your way, but you have a right to contribute to this conversation as well. What do you want for dinner? Okay, well, I respect that. I always hear parents talk about that. Like, some parents will get their kid whatever they want for dinner, even if each kid got a different dinner. You got other parents who feel like you're going to eat what I give you. I feel like it should be a thing of like, and I don't have kids, so I mean, this is from me on the outside. As how I feel is, if you're asking your kid what they want for dinner, and it's completely different than what you're gonna do, be like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. How about next Saturday we do that? You ain't gotta, well, hell no, you're gonna eat these Brussels sprouts tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't getting that. You got McDonald's money. Like, you don't have to like beat them up. Like, just say, you know what, that's an amazing idea. Tonight we're gonna have this, but next Sunday, I promise you, if you get this, we'll do that. Just let your kids know. This is where low self-esteem comes from, childhood. How are you teaching your kids in their childhood? Like, that's just crazy to me. And it's like, as an adult, you have to reparent and fill in all of these different holes that your parents failed to do. You literally have to reparent yourself to get all these concepts down. For you to sit there and have the gut, the balls to get up and be like, girl, I don't know who to do this. I'm not paying for this. Like, you gotta really, that's a spiritual thing. That's a spiritual thing. Like, you got to pull that out from the depths of your being. Do you feel what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I had to say. Like, that experience really just blew me, y'all. Like, that just really blew me. It really just blew me. I'm about to, hi, Naya Kobe. I don't have a clear coat. I'm probably going to, I have this nude color from this nail. I'll put the nail, if I do it, I'll put it up. But I'm probably just gonna paint over these myself, and I'll probably try my mom's nail tech because she seems to like her. So hopefully it works out. I mean, otherwise, y'all, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna keep waiting until the right nail tech come along, because I'm not finna keep doing this. Like, I'm not getting fungus. I'm not getting my finger amputated. These things actively happen all the time in these situations, because you got many people who keep accepting mediocre treatment just because they want cheap prices, or they don't want to do the due diligence of finding better people. And it's like, no, like, this is not okay. This is not okay, like, at all. So what do y'all think about this before I go? I'm getting ready to go. It's a damn shame. It really is. But I'm proud of myself. After almost losing my hair, girl, I don't care about her feelings, girl. I hope she do feel bad. I hope she do feel bad. And I hope she go and think. Because I went and looked at the reviews, and I'm like, damn, she got other bad reviews. I hope she do feel bad. I hope it did hurt her feelings. Period. So she could go back and say, so she could have some damn due diligence, and she would feel like, oh, maybe I do need to treat people better. Maybe I do need to be on time to my appointments. Maybe I do need to be more mindful of not cutting people. And when I do make a mistake, show that I'm like, she should feel bad. Because that used to be my complex of, oh, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Girl, you didn't care about hurting mine. I hope she do feel bad. So anyway, y'all, I'm about to get off here because I got to finish filming this other video that I was making for y'all before I went to get my nails done. And did y'all want to say anything before I left? Thank y'all for tuning in, those of y'all who did. And thank you for those of y'all who said something in the comments. I don't understand what's going on in the comments these days. Girl, these people. I've done this stuff too, though. Don't get me wrong. I make mistakes too. The difference is, though, I try to hold myself accountable and take accountability. That's why I say I can understand the difference. I can understand the mistakes service providers make. But the number one thing is, if you know you're going to make mistakes, move different. Be willing to apologize when you mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to overcompensate for your shortcomings. Don't just don't just mess stuff up and don't try to make it up. Like, come on, you gotta have balance. Otherwise, it's like, all right, y'all, I'm out of here.